जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा जय कुंज बिहारी गोपी जना गिरिवरधारी गोपी जना की
जय।
ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी नमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी आख्यात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we'll be reading today from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 18, verse number 58. So I'll just read the verse. You all can just follow me. Machchitta sarva durgani. You can just repeat, try and repeat. Machchitta sarva durgani matprasadat rishyasi atachetvam ahankaran nashosyasi vinakshasi. Machchitta sarva durgani adatarishati atachetvam ahankaran nashosyasi vinakshasi. Machchitta sarva durgani. If tvam, you, ahankarat, by false ego, nashosyasi, do not hear, vinakshasi, you will be lost. I'll read the translation and purport. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Prabhupada, by His Divine Grace, HH Radhanath Swami Prabhupada. A person in full Krishna consciousness is not unduly anxious about executing the duties of his existence. The foolish cannot understand this great freedom from all anxiety. For one who acts in Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna becomes the most intimate friend. He always looks after his friend's comfort and he gives himself to his friend, who is so devotedly engaged working 24 hours a day to please the Lord. Therefore, no one should be carried away by the false ego of the bodily concept of life. One should not falsely think himself independent of the laws of material nature or free to act. He is already under strict material laws. But as soon as he acts in Krishna consciousness, he is liberated, free from the material perplexities. One should note very carefully that one who is not active in Krishna consciousness is losing himself in the material whirlpool in the ocean of birth and death. No conditioned soul actually knows what is to be done and what is not to be done. But a person who acts in Krishna consciousness is free to act because everything is prompted by Krishna from within and confirmed by the spiritual master. Hare Krishna. So, I was told that I should speak in Hindi, but how many of you understand Hindi? Okay. But all of you understand English, right? So better than I do it in English. So, welcome you all to this Saturday evening class. Glad to see so many Indian faces in the Philippines. I am visiting here, so I've been seeing only Filipino faces. Glad to see so many Indian faces in one place. It is said that this material world is filled with dualities. Dualities means opposites. This material world is filled with dualities. Minimum is a duality. There can be multiple aspects, but then duality is the minimum. Krishna says that Dvandva Moha. Dvandva means duality. Moha means illusion. We are all subjected to these dualities of this material world. Dvandva Moha, Krishna says. So we see that there are so many dualities in this world, right? There are two extremes always. There is right and wrong. There is young and old. There is rich and poor. Educated and uneducated. Citizen and foreigner. Left and right. Success, defeat. So it is filled with dualities. And we are being swayed between these dualities of life. So we all can recollect. Apart from these common ones, more subtler ones are like birth and death, happiness and distress. We are all subjected to this, summer and winter. Like this, there are so many dualities in this world. And that is the reason sometimes we are happy and sometimes we are distressed. Because sometimes we get so attached to this whole concept of happiness, and then it is going to be taken away from us, we become distressed. So Srila Prabhupada used to say that it is a world of cheaters and the cheated. Another way of this duality. It is a world of the exploiters and the exploited. Srila Prabhupada used to say. We see that in this world, so many people are being exploited. So many people are being cheated. Just like, I remember because most of you are born in India and then traveled in India, right? So you have the experience of traveling in India. So in the trains, okay, when the train is standing in a particular station and it is about to leave, okay. So in the morning hours, what happens is some people, they have a thorn Indian currency note. Okay, so he feels like if I have to buy the newspaper, okay, so when the train starts moving, if I go and buy from the newspaper, he will not check the torn note, and I can cheat the newspaper fellow very easily. So I just go and give him a torn currency note of 5 rupees or 10 rupees, and in a hurry to sell the newspaper fellow is going to just give it without checking whether it is a torn note or not. Okay. So he tries to cheat him. He tries to cheat the newspaper fellow. So the newspaper fellow is waiting that how can I cheat somebody. So what he does, he gives yesterday's newspaper. He gives yesterday's newspaper, and this fellow is thinking that I am trying to cheat him. In the contrary, he gets cheated. So we see that this material world is always, the tendency is that to cheat. The tendency is to compromise. It is said that in the very, very olden days, in order to decide how much charity one should give, because people used to be charitable. Nowadays we are becoming very stingy. In the olden days people were very charitable. So if they have to decide how much money I should give it in charity, Chanakya Pandit says that one should never be satisfied by giving any amount of charity. One should always be dissatisfied with any amount of charity that one gives. So in the olden days, if one has to decide how much money I should part away with whatever I have, so what they used to do is that they used to draw a circle. They used to draw a circle around themselves, throw the money up in the sky. Okay. So whatever that falls within the circle that they have drawn is for oneself. Whatever that falls outside the circle, they give it in charity. So after some time, what happened? The circle started becoming bigger. Because we started becoming more and more possessive. So the circle started becoming bigger. So that then they throw, still there are some notes which used to fall outside the circle. So they used to make the circle bigger and bigger. So nowadays they don't even draw the circle. They throw the money up. They say whatever God you want to catch, you catch. Whatever that falls down is mine. So we see that we are trying to compromise. We try to compromise in every aspect of life. So that's the reason we always have this dualities. The particular verse that we are reading, Krishna is talking about how without his mercy, it is impossible to overcome the dualities of this world. So we see that we have been recipient of the mercy of so many people in this world, right? Sometimes we think that I don't require the mercy of anyone, we think. But if we introspect deeply, we are always at the mercy of others, right? You're always at the mercy of others. Since the time we are even within the womb of our mothers, right? Our mother has been very merciful to us. That's the reason she had been carrying in her womb for 9 months, right? So we see that from even before when we are born in this world, we are at the mercy of someone. When we are born into this world, we are at the mercy of so many people, innumerable people, upon whose mercy, upon whose daya or kripa or grace we have been surviving. There are so many teachers who have taught us what is right, what is wrong, the different subjects, whether it be a professional subject or whether it be a hobby or whether it be an art. We all have learned from so many teachers. We are at the mercy of them to teach us what is right and what is wrong. When we grow up also, we see like we are at the mercy of, when we get diseased, we are at the mercy of doctors. When we are into a legal case, we are at the mercy of the lawyers, right? So in this way we see that we are always dependent on others. Though we may have money, though we may have some power and influence in this world, but just power and influence and money will not really serve the purpose. We definitely have to have the mercy of so many people. Even the governments, right? We see that when a misery strikes, when a tragedy strikes, we are all at the mercy of the government and the government representatives. You see, like when COVID was happening, India was flying back so many of its citizens back to India. So we were at the mercy of the governments. So we see that not only of the human beings, we are also at the mercy of material nature. So even the basic things that are required for our life, we depend on material nature. Unless until there is earth, unless until there is rain, unless until there is sunshine, okay, even the food that we eat, the air that we breathe, without that, we will not be able to survive. So we are not only at the mercy of the human beings and the governments, we are also at the mercy of material nature. What to speak of just the material nature and the human beings? We are even at the mercy of so many animals, right? Like suppose we all drink milk, cow's milk. We are at the mercy of the cows. If we want, say, honey, we are dependent of the honeybee. Even like in a place like Philippines, we see so many people keep carrying their pets. So they depend on their pets to give them some happiness. In this way, we see that so many elements, so many beings are all involved, because of which we are able to really survive and really enjoy happiness in this world. So, but all this is limited to the body. All the happiness and all the mercy that we receive from all these people and the elements which I described is all for the survival of this body. The mercy that Krishna describes here is not of that sort. It's completely different. If we see in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that Dhyayate Vishayan Pumsa Sangate Subhajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kama Krodha Bhajayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha Sammoha Smriti Vibhrama Smriti Brahmshat Buddhinasho Buddhinashat Pranashati. He tells the sequence in which we all fall down in this material world. He says that Dhyayate Vishayan Pumsa. We all have the senses, the sense of seeing, the sense of hearing, the sense of tasting, the sense of smelling, and the sense of touching. These are called as the Panchendriyas, the five senses through which we experience everything of this world. So Krishna says that these are the senses everyone is having, whether it be human beings or animals, we all have these senses. And there are sense objects in this world. There are objects which gratify these senses. So Krishna says that Dhyayate Vishayan Pumsa. Pumsa means objects. Pumsa is to enjoy. Vishaya means objects. Dhyayate. The moment we contemplate or we think of the sense objects, Dhyayate Vishayan Pumsa, Sankate Subhajayate, we develop attachment. The moment we think of anything that gives us enjoyment in this world, we become attached. We all know that anything that gives enjoyment in our life, we get attached to. So Krishna says, Dhyayate Vishayan Pumsa Sangha Tes Upajayate. Sangha means attachment develops. Sangat Sanjayate Kama. Such an attachment gives rise to a very strong mentality of enjoyment. Sangat Sanjayate Kama. Kama means lust. Lust develops from such attachment. Attachment brings about lust, or the propensity to continuously keep on enjoying those sense objects. Sangat Sanjayate Kama. Kama Krodha Bhajayate. But unfortunately, the pleasures of this world are all temporary. All the pleasures. Whatever pleasure you can name it, it's all temporary. So Krishna says that when temporary means what, it's going to be taken away from us at some point. At some point in our life, these enjoyments are going to be taken away from us. So what happens? Once when we are attached to some object which gives us enjoyment, when it is taken away, it gives rise to anger. Kama Krodha Bhajayate, Krishna says. Lust gives rise to anger. Kama krodha bhajayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. When we become angry, we become deluded or we become confused. That's the reason they say, when you are angry, don't take any decision. They say. Because when we become angry, we do not know, the discriminatory power goes away. So Krishna says that Kama krodha bhajayate. From Kama or lust gives rise to Krodha. Krodha bhavati sammoha. When Krodha comes, we become completely bewildered. Sammoha smriti vibhramaha. When we become bewildered, our memory doesn't really work. Smriti vibhramaha. Smriti means memory power. When we become angry, we lose the power to discriminate. Because we lose the power to discriminate, we lose memory. Smriti bhramshat buddhi nasho. We all know that how helpful the memory is, right? Whether it be in a laptop or even in our life, if there is no memory, how we will work? So Krishna says that Smriti bhramshat buddhi nasho. Because the intelligence always derives and draws the memory in order to make those decisions, right? All the good and bad that we have experienced in life is stored in the form of memory. When the memory is lost, Smriti bhramshat buddhi nasho, the intelligence cannot function. Because then again we'll keep doing the same mistake. Smriti bhramshat buddhi nasho. Buddhi nashat pranashyat. Krishna says that once intelligence is lost, once existence is finished. Because that is the only thing which discriminates us from animals. The power to discriminate what is right, what is wrong. Otherwise, if we just spend our life in ahara nidra bhaya maitunamsha samanyameta pashubir narana. It is said that if one just spends his life for eating, mating, sleeping and defending, then he is no better than an animal, two-legged animal. So, discrimination is such an important aspect of human life. The animals also have the power of discrimination, but that discrimination is only to the extent of where can I get my food, how can I defend better, where can I sleep peacefully. But they do not have the power to discriminate why am I suffering. No animal asks this question, why am I suffering? Only in the human form of life we have this superior intelligence, fully developed intelligence in which we can ask this question, why am I suffering? Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that dukkha alayam ashashvatam. This material world is a place of dukkha. Just like we have vidyalaya, a place where knowledge is given. Bhojanalaya, where a place where food is being served. Or Himalaya, where a place. In that section, Krishna talks about how mat prasada tarishyati. By my mercy, one can overcome this, overcome the attachments to the objects of this world. So we see that the mercy of Krishna is very different from the mercy that we receive from others. What is the difference? There are two aspects of Krishna's mercy. Though all the things, whatever, even the material nature, all other living beings' mercy is actually coming from Krishna only, but there are some mercy which is directly related to Krishna, which Krishna calls here as prasad. We all, in India, we all have heard this word prasad, right? How many of you are fond of prasad? Prasad. Especially the ISKCON prasad. Because wherever we go, we hear that even Steve Jobs said that I used to walk 8 miles in the Hare Krishna temple. And he was a student. So we all know this prasad, this form of prasadam, which is nothing but food. Because there is nobody in this world who doesn't love food. We are all foodies, right? So, but there are other forms. Love, okay? Love for the Lord, you mean. Love for the Lord. Prema, okay? Anything else?
Dhyan.
Sorry?
Dhyan.
Dhyan, to meditate on the Lord, okay? Any other forms by which we can connect with the Lord? Yoga. Yeah, close to meditation. Meditation, service, holy name. Sacrifices. Yajna. Okay. Yes, yajna is also one way by which one can connect with the Lord. Devotion and love, it's the same. Atma, how it's connected with the Lord? Sorry? Reading Bhagavad Gita. Wow. So Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge about who God is also mercy of the Lord, right? If the Lord has not given Bhagavad Gita, how we will sit and talk? How we will read? How we will know who He is? How we will know who we are? How we will know what is our connection with Him? Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Anything else? Prayer. Very good. Prayers. Yes. Prayer is another way by which one can connect with the Lord. Anything else? There are a couple of more ones which are very, very important. What? Deities. Fantastic. So the deities of the Lord, the Murti of the Lord. Very good. Thank you, Prabhu. Anything else? Donation is a service. It's a part of service. Okay. Then there is one more which is called the devotees of the Lord. Devotees of the Lord. They are also the mercy of the Lord. Because it is said that Brahmandata Brahmita Bhagyavan Jivakon Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. Who is the most fortunate person in the entire creation? Brahmandata Brahmita Bhagyavan Jiva. Who is the most fortunate person in the whole earth? Not the one who wins some lottery. Brahmandata Brahmita Bhagyavan Jiva. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. One who meets a guru or one who meets a devotee, who gives the seed of devotion. Bhakti Lata Beach. One who plants the seed of devotion for God in our heart. That's a devotee. So all these are different forms, different ways by which we receive the mercy of the Lord. We try to understand the Lord. We try to serve the Lord. When we read Bhagavad Gita, when we chant the holy name, when we perform yajna, when we worship the deities, when we look at the devotee, when we associate with devotees, when we render service, or when we make some prayer, or when we express our love to the Lord, that is the way by which we connect to the Lord. But of all this, okay, the topmost mercy of the Lord, okay, the topmost mercy of the Lord is when He gives the faith in our heart towards the Lord. We may be chanting, we may be worshipping the deities, we may be reading the books, we may be with the devotees, we may be praying, but we may not have the faith that is required. So the greatest mercy of the Lord is when He instills faith in our heart towards the Lord. Because once when we have that implicit faith in the Lord, then the dualities and the attractions of this world slowly starts diminishing. That's the reason it is said that Bhaktir Pariksha Anubhava Viraktir Anyatraha. Bhaktir Pariksha Anubhava. One should be able to identify love for the Lord, Bhaktir Pariksha Anubhava, and also experience. Okay, that experience comes when we have faith in the Lord. Without faith, there cannot be any experience. If we keep on doubting, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Samshayatma Vinashyati. A person who doubts what I say, he is finished. Because unless and until we have faith in what the Lord says, how we are going to apply it in our life? Samshayatma Vinashyati, he says. So when we have that faith in the Lord, that is the greatest gift of the Lord. Because one cannot develop faith just by reading and just by associating and just by worshipping. It is said that Shushusho Shadda Danasya Vasudeva Kataruchi San Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nishevanat. It is said that Sushusho Shadda Danasya, when we hear with faith, just hearing is not adequate. One should hear with faith. That means when there is a doubt, we should ask doubt. Because otherwise we cannot hear with faith. Right? You are hearing now, but then there will be a lot of doubts which will be running in your mind. What this guy is speaking. Right? So all those doubts have to be clarified. If doubts are not clarified, doubts are like demons, asuras in our heart, which doesn't allow us to progress in the path of devotion. So all these doubts have to be finished. That is only possible. Shushusho Shraddha Danasya. One should hear with faith. Vasudeva Kataruchi San Mahat Sevaya Vipra. And that is possible by serving those people who have faith. Serving those people who have faith. Shushusho Shraddha Danasya Vasudeva Kataruchi. Those who have developed faith are those who are experiencing taste in serving the Lord and remembering the Lord. Kataruchi. Vasudeva Kataruchi. San Mahat Sevaya Vipra. By serving such people, Punya Tirtha Nishevana. One develops faith in one's heart. So, when we talk of the mercy of the Lord, though there are so many forms of mercy, the concept of developing faith in the Lord is the topmost of all the mercy of the Lord. Now, when we talk of this mercy, there are two important things which comes along with the mercy of the Lord. The mercy of the Lord is, one is that it is unlimited. It is unlimited. And second thing is that it is costless. It is costless. Unlimited means it is not limited by time, place, circumstances. It is available not just for a few people, not just for brahmanas, not just for devotees. The mercy of the Lord is accessible to anyone and everyone. Even whether a person is in the Congo forest, okay, or whether a person is living in the concrete jungle of Manila, okay, the mercy of the Lord is always accessible, 24/7. At any point, His mercy is available. So that means it is not limited. We have heard of the pastimes of Gajendra. When Gajendra, the elephant, the king of all elephants, when he was being caught by the crocodile in the waters, okay, the fight was going on for thousands of years. Okay. But Gajendra, because of his previous good spiritual activities, he remembered the Lord, okay, and he cried out to the Lord. He took a lotus flower from the pond and he offered to the Lord, and then he cried out. He started, because all the prayers which he used to recite in his previous life came to his memory. Okay. So he started praying very intensely to the Lord, asking for his protection. The Lord immediately came in order to protect Gajendra. We also hear the story of Draupadi, right? In the Sabha of Duryodhana, where she was being disrobed. First she tried to protect her own integrity by holding on to the sari with her own hands. But Dushashan was so strong, he was pulling it off. Then she was holding the sari in her teeth and trying to think that, okay, I can protect myself. She was still calling out the Lord, but then she was holding it in her teeth. But when then even that was slipping away, she threw both her hands and called out, "Hey Keshav, hey Madhava, please protect me now. I do not have any other protection." That is the time the Lord came to protect her. So we see that the Lord protects His devotees irrespective of time, place and circumstance. We also see the story of Jatayu, the bird which was trying to prevent Mother Sita being carried away by Ravan to Lanka. It fought very valiantly, but then Ravan was so powerful, he cut off the Jatayu's wings. Jatayu was lying there, and then when Ram came, Jatayu left its body in the arms of the Supreme Lord. So we see so many examples of people where the Lord showered His mercy in an unlimited way, without the Deshakala Patra, without the qualification of the person. In any place and circumstance, the Lord's mercy is always accessible. That is one of the qualities of Lord's mercy. Because other things, if you see all those people who try to make us happy and who try to make our lives comfortable, it's not that they are always available. It is not that always they are going to help us. Like for example, the people whom we discussed at the beginning of the class, our parents. It's not that they are always going to be there to protect us. Some of us may have lost our parents. They are not there always to protect us. Even the governments are not able to protect. We see what is happening in Ukraine, where the government is not able to protect its citizens. Right? We see so many patients who die in the operation table. The best of the doctors, they cannot prevent, they cannot save the patients always. Or the best of the lawyers, they cannot really save their clients. Whereas the Lord's mercy is unlimited and it never fails. We see that when Gajendra was calling out, or when Draupadi was calling out, the Lord was always there to protect them. So, one of the mercy of the Lord is that, one of the aspects of the mercy of the Lord is that He is unlimited. Second thing is that it is also costless. Costless means what? There is no need of any reason for the Lord to be merciful to us. The Lord can be merciful irrespective of who we are. That is one of the beauty of the Lord's mercy. It is not that one has to be a devotee. It is not that one has to be born in India. It is not that one has to be a Brahmana. It is not that one has to be very young, innocent, or one has to be a very old person who is helpless. Then only the Lord helps. No. The Lord's mercy is costless. Nobody can claim that I have done this so I deserve the mercy of the Lord. No. The Lord's mercy is always costless. Though we may have done so many things, but still we should qualify. We should, the qualification is that I do not have any qualification. The greatest qualification to receive the mercy of the Lord is that to always think that I do not have any qualification. Qualified. But nowadays, people don't want the mercy of the Lord. Right? People want all the facilities and the resources that God gives, but people don't want God's mercy. In the life of Srila Prabhupada, mercy. So one Gujarati businessman, he came and then he told Srila Prabhupada that Swamiji, aapka Ashirwad chahiye. Prabhupada looked at all the disciples who were all sitting with a shaven head, foreigners. Okay. Prabhupada said, are you sure that you want my mercy? He asked this Gujarati businessman. He said, yes, I want your mercy, Swamiji. Prabhupada said, these are all the products of my mercy. All these shaven brahmacharis and sannyasis who were sitting in front of him, Srila Prabhupada said, they are all the products of my mercy. Are you sure that you want my mercy still? He said, thank you very much, Swamiji, and he left. Because we see that people want God's mercy, but only for their own enjoyment. They want, I want this, I want this, I want this, but for their own enjoyment. Like in my hometown, there is a Ganpati temple. Okay, not really, Hanuman temple. So in that temple, so one person, he went and donated money. Then he said that because there is no fan in this temple, you please buy a fan for Hanuman. And in that fan and all the blades. Okay, he has written donated by so and so, his name. He wrote in all the leaves of the fan. Okay, and he told the pujari, okay, whenever it is very hot, only use it. Other time, don't use it. So that when people see it, they are able to see who has donated that fan. So this fool, actually he is donating a fan to whom? To Vayuputra, to Hanuman. And he is telling that don't use it. So we see that many okay, we take the name of God, but for our own ulterior motives. We see like I come from southern part of India, we have Ganesh BD. He wants to run a business of BD. But he wants Ganesh's mercy also, so that his BD is of all time to come. Sarva Durgani, Mat Prasadat Tarishyasi. If you receive this mercy of mine, okay, then Mat Prasadat, by my mercy, Tarishyati, you will be able to overcome all the difficulties. So then he says that, but out of false ego, he says here that Machittat sarva durgani matprasada tarishyasi atachetvam ahankaram. But out of your ahankar, if you reject this, nashosyasi vinakshasi, your destruction is guaranteed. So we see that all those people who do not accept the mercy of the Lord, okay, they will ultimately be defeated. They will ultimately be defeated. Temporarily we may be successful in this world, but ultimately all material success, everything will lead to destruction. We may win some battles, but we are going to lose the war of life. Right? Sometimes we become so proud of our own success. When we are young especially, we think that I have scored this many marks, I am better than that person. Many people are my friends, I get so many likes in social media, blah 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 blah, all that we think. But ultimately we will lose all of this. So we may win some battles, but it is guaranteed that we will lose the war of our life. Whereas if we receive some battles, but we will finally win the war. What is that war? Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Antakalecha mam yeva smaran mutva kalevaram yaprayati sa madbhavam yati nashtyatra samsaya. What is the goal of life? We all have goals, we all have dreams, right? But according to Bhagavad Gita, what is the goal of each and every person should be? Krishna says that Antakalecha mam yeva smaran. At the time of death, Antakalecha mam yeva smaran. One who is able to remember me, his life is successful. Antakalecha mam yeva smaran. This is the goal of life according to Bhagavad Gita for all of us. Whether we agree or whether we don't agree, whether we are followers of Bhagavad Gita or whether we are followers of any other dharma. At the time of death, to remember God is the goal of human life. Antakalecha mam eva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati sa madbhavam yati nastyatra samsaya. So Krishna says that if you remember me at the time of death, you will get a form which is like mine. Yaprayati sa madbhavam, Krishna says. You will have a form which is like that of mine. Yati nastyatra samshaya. Please do not doubt about this, O Arjuna. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So, the mercy of the Lord, as I said, is unlimited. It is costless. In fact, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that when Putana was being killed by the Lord, okay, in that particular section, it is said that the Lord is so merciful. He is more merciful than how much mercy we can actually hold, how much mercy we want. Because this Putana, this witch, she came with the desire to kill Krishna. Okay? But Krishna killed her. But even after killing her, Krishna gave her the position of mother in the spiritual world. Because she came with the desire to feed Krishna. So Krishna thought that, okay, she wants to feed me. So Krishna did not think that she wants to kill me. He only thought that she actually wants to feed me. So Krishna gave the position of mother to Putana, the spiritual world. So the mercy of the Lord is unlimited, it is costless, and it cannot be bound by time, place, and circumstances. In this age of Kali Yuga, as one of you was telling that one of the mercy of the Lord is actually to perform yajna. One of you was telling when I was asking what are the different ways by which one can directly connect with the Lord. It is said that Kriteya dhyayate Vishnu, Dwaparya paricharyaya, Tritaya yajato make, Kalautat hari kirtanat. There are different processes which are being prescribed for different ages. Just like for children, different type of food is recommended. For youth, different type of food is recommended. For disease, different type of food is recommended. Right? So there are different ways by which one can connect with the Lord at the different yugas. It is said that Kriteya dhyayate Vishnu. In Satyuga, okay, the process of connecting with the Lord is to meditate on the Lord. Kriteya dhyayate Vishnu. To perform meditation on the Supreme within the heart. Dwaparya paricharyaya. In Dwapar Yuga, the process that is being recommended is that to go and visit all the different temples. Treteya yajato make. In the age of Treta Yuga, the process that is recommended to connect with the Lord, is to perform elaborate yajnas. Is to perform elaborate sacrifices. But it is said that in the age of Kali Yuga, Manda Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagya Upadvritaha. It is said that we are all dull-headed. The Shastra says that we are all dull-headed. We may be thinking, what is this? We see so many scientific advancements are being made, and how can the Shastra say we are dull-headed? We are dull-headed when it comes to the subject matter of spirituality. We are all dull-headed. Manda. Sumanda. Matayo Manda Bhagya. It is said that we are always disturbed. We are also less fortunate. Manda Bhagya. Upadvritaha means we are always disturbed. Okay. Manda Bhagya Upadvritaha. So, because knowing that in this age, it's very difficult to follow all these processes, it is said that Kalautat hari kirtanat. In the age of Kali Yuga, we can receive that mercy by chanting the names of Hari. So that is the reason Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in order to give us free of cost, costless mercy. That just come, chant the names of Krishna, have Krishna Prasad, associate with devotees, read the scriptures, and make our life perfect. So I think I've exceeded the time limit. You're all getting late and must be hungry. I'll stop here. And in case if there are any questions, we can answer during the prasadam time, or you can meet me one-on-one. I'll try and answer it. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.